3 police officers killed in auto crash in Abuja. Nigeria loses polio-free status as Bauchi records new cases. Nigeria Center for Disease Control issues fresh warnings on increasing Lassa fever cases. And on the foreign scene, ECOWAS countries to shut all borders to Mali impose fresh sanctions. Welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome to the program. Now, at least 3 police officers on Sunday lost their lives to a ghastly motor accident along the Kubwa-Zuba Expressway in Abuja when the patrol van in which they were traveling experienced a burnt tire and crashed into a drainage. Reports say the accident involved operatives of the Special Tactical Squad of the police attached to the force headquarters. The police officers were said to be heading to Kaduna for a special assignment before the accident occurred. Elsewhere, the police in Ebonyi State on Sunday confirmed the killing of a member of Ebubeagwu Security Network. News Agency of Nigeria reports that the victim, Ifeanyi Orugbo, who was killed and his remains partially burnt by the assailants. The police spokesperson in Ebonyi State, Lovett Oda, said the incident occurred on Saturday night in Egweledowa Amagu in Ikwo local government area of the state. Ebubeagwu is a security outfit set up by the Ebonyi State government to help in the fight against insecurity in the state. Some indigents of Plateau State who were displaced during the 2001 crisis are struggling to rebuild life after the ethno-religious unrest. 20 years after the just crisis, Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail meets some survivors in Narabi, a village in Toro local government area of Bauchi State.
Narabi village is located few kilometers away from Jos, the Plateau State capital. 20 years ago, the village received a large number of displaced people from Plateau State due to a religious unrest, which claimed hundreds of lives and properties worth billions of naira. Because of the catastrophic damage caused by the conflict, survivors still struggle to recover from the economic meltdown.
We were managing life before our houses were burnt. We are now homeless and life is hard.
Yanzu ina yi amma komai ya kare na sana'an babu ko kobo bashi ma ake bi na.
I was in business, but I'm now bankrupted. We fed from proceeds. We want to enroll our children in school, but no one is supporting us.
Ba mu da hali da dasi makaranta.
To yanzu ku yanayin rayuwa muna cikin kuncin rayuwa yanzu. Ga yaran ma yanzu makaranta.
We are in a very difficult condition and worried about the education of our children. Things are getting worse.
Abubuwan da ya sai cikuikuɗe mana yake yi.
Musamman muna da bukata na samun gwamnati ta tallafa mana musamman ta bangaren matasa da yara mata.
We want government to build a skill acquisition center for our youths and women for self-reliance. They can learn tailoring and other skills. You see, this is better than giving money.
These people demand more intervention in agriculture and education.
Our major problem in this community is that we need a standard school in which our children can be educated. We also need like a clinic or hospital where whenever someone is ill, we can be able to go there. And also the issue of electricity here, they are sharing it. Maybe one day you have it, the other day you don't have it. And apart from that, majority of the people here are farmers. And most of them, they don't have the money to do the farming, more especially because of the issue of fertilizer and some other things. That is our major problem here.
The Plateau indigents residing in Narabi are calling on the government of the state to remember and consider their plights. Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Bauchi State Primary Healthcare Development Agency says it has recorded 38 confirmed cases of circulating mutant poliovirus type 2 in 12 local government areas. Executive Chairman of the agency, Dr. Rilwan Muhammad, stated this when he flagged off the vaccination exercise against the virus at Bayamfada. He said the affected local government areas included Toro, Warji, Darazo, Misau, Dambam, Zaki, Jama'ari Alkaleri, Ganjua, Bauchi, Katagum and Shira. The chairman said the target population during the vaccination exercise remained under 5 years with a total of 2.2 million, as the vaccines so far received stood at 2.3 million doses. Rilwanu said intra-state border synchronization meetings between Bauchi, Jigawa, Kano, Yobe, Bauchi, Gombe, Bauchi have been conducted. The resurgence of the wild poliovirus in the country came after a few years of the polio-free certification. Nigeria Center for Disease Control on Sunday gave a fresh warning over Lassa fever cases, which it said had risen to 4,632 and recorded 102 deaths. The center, in its latest advisory in Abuja, warns Nigerians of the possibility of Lassa fever presenting malaria-like symptoms such as fever, headache, sore throat, general body weakness, cough, among others. The NCDC advised healthcare workers to maintain a high index suspicion for Lassa fever, noting that any illness that has not responded to 48 hours use of anti-malaria or antibiotics should raise an index suspicion for Lassa fever, adding that the time between an infection and appearance of symptoms of the disease is 6 to 21 days. Nigeria on Sunday recorded 6 deaths and 537 fresh COVID-19 cases across 7 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. The latest statistics by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control reveals that Rivers State in the South tops the infection chart with 313 cases. With the new confirmed cases, the infection toll the NCDC advised health care workers to maintain a high index suspicion for Lassa fever. Now, with the new confirmed cases, the infection toll has increased to over 200,000, while the fertility toll now stands at over 3,000. According to the latest data, the number of discharged cases now stand at over 200,000, while the active cases stand at 26,238. Elsewhere, Maiduguri tricycle riders expressed happiness over the newly constructed flyover in the capital city. The infrastructure situated at the old customs roundabout is the first of its kind in Borno State. The tricycle riders love to ply the structure at night.
It's the first flyover in Maiduguri city. Customs roundabout, as it's podly called, links motorists and commuters to other destinations. The customs area is one of the busiest places in the capital because of the market, hawkers and roadside sellers. Abubakar Tijani, a tricycle rider, plies this road often for his daily survival. He said it was difficult to find a parking space and always experience heavy traffic before the flyover came to be.
Everyone knows that. Even during the rainy season, the road was very bad, but now we don't experience that when moving around. But the only problem we have is we want Botma to create a bus stop for us.
And at night, it looks radiant with street lights and other colorful lights. Some residents find it eye-catching, describing it as one of the beautiful sights and serving its purpose of reducing congestion.
You get to see tricycles blocking the road, people blocking each other, you know. So at the end of the day, you discover that people spend hours on the spot. I'm happy that the governor has been able to complete this project.
I used to pass this area much crowded because it would take me more than 30 minutes university, but now it's not much after 10 minutes. Yes.
Now has turned this place to London. The place is so beautiful. We experience any challenges. We are making progress, but we are pleading that a parking space be created for the Keke Napep.
The custom flyover links 4 different locations in the heart of Maiduguri. Residents say they expect to see more similar infrastructure in the metropolis.
Zamfara State Governor Bello Motwalle says his administration is working with security agencies to address bandits' activities ravaging the state. The governor said this while giving an update on the ongoing military offensive against the bandits.
My dear people of Zamfara State, it becomes necessary for me to address you once more on the issue of security in our dear state. It becomes even more compelling to deliver this address following the recent incidents of bloodbaths in some communities of Anka and Bukun local government area, in order to give the actual account of what transpired and steps were being taken. As you are aware, the security measures taken in recent months, coupled with the intensifications of assaults by the security forces against the various bandit enclaves in the state in the past few weeks, have put the bandits and their collaborators in a tight corner. They have been deprived of fuel, food supply, and other means of sustenance, which give them the impetus to hang on their criminal activities. As a result of the measures, many of the bandits compared moving from location to location in search of new fortresses in the course of their movement. They unleash terror on any community they pass by. For example, the recent incidents in the village of Mohai, located between Magazu and Ankara, occurred following a distress call received by the security forces that a group of bandits traveling in a motorcade of about 50 motorcycles were sighted. The security forces responded immediately and engaged the bandits, successfully neutralizing most of them. You may recall that I was at the center of operation to cheer up our troops and transport the 4 wounded soldiers to the hospital here in Gusau.
You're watching Trust TV News Update coming up. The story of Gombe blind carpenter. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. This is Trust TV News Update. Our top stories. At least 3 police officers on Sunday lost their lives to a ghastly motor accident along the Kubwa-Zuba Expressway when the patrol van in which they were traveling experienced a burst tire and crashed into a drainage. And Bauchi State Primary Health Care Development Agency says it has recorded 38 confirmed cases of circulating mutant poliovirus type 2 in 12 local government areas. Still ahead, Nigerians have indicated resolve to set aside ethnic and religious considerations in electing leaders that possess the required capacity to address the problems facing the country. A cross-section of respondents who speak to Trust TV Shafiu Suleiman rail out some of the qualities they say will define their choices ahead of the 2023 elections.
As the electioneering campaign ahead of 2023 election began in earnest and various political gladiators are coming up with their ambitions, to occupy the #1 seat, and perhaps the #1 seat at different levels of governance, talking about the subnational levels, and of course, even at the local government levels. Nigerians have their own expectations with regards to the kind of leadership they want to emerge 2023. Even though some of those eyeing the #1 seat and those aspiring, to rule the country are beginning to express their ambitions and of course what they have in stock for Nigerians. But Nigerians have specific, wants with regards to the kind of leadership they want to emerge. Let's hear from them.
A leader that will represent the interests of this country is not a leader that will represent the interest of a religion. It's not a leader that will represent the interest of a region. It's not a leader that will represent the interest of a tribe. It's not a leader that will represent the interest of ethnic group, but a leader that will represent the interest of this country called Nigeria.
Let us not rely on political party again. We should look for leader that can do the needful, not only from particular political parties, because what we found ourselves now is beyond the political party matter.
The leader that will make things work for all of us. I think if we have get to a stage where we don't need to think of religion, think of ethnicity. We don't just need integrity. We need an intelligent person, somebody that can move Nigeria forward.
We need straightforward leaders that know what the youth wants. For me, I won't even want the old men to come around again. I just need young people, to come, like, they should come out and contest also. It's time for the old ones to just lay aside and give the opportunity for the young ones to also rise.
I just need a leader that has the love of a father. And if it's a woman, I need a leader that has the love of a mother, to act like one and to act like a leader. Because the name leader isn't just meant for just anyone. It's not everyone that has the capability of a leader.
I'm not selecting. What I want is someone that will make everybody to be smile. Not someone that will be crucified. I am from this side. Let me take care of my people and leave the rest. We are one.
Nigerians have spoken. And from their resolution, you can deduct the fact that Nigerians, irrespective of religious, ethnic, or other backgrounds, are ready to put behind the fault lines and, of course, work towards the emergence of credible leadership that would take the country out of the current doldrums. They are ready to do this, as they say, irrespective of who emerges. But what they want is to see a leader who has the political will, the capacity, and of course the will to address the contemporary issues affecting this country. From the heart of Nigeria's capital, Abuja, Shapiro Suleiman, Trust TV News.
To be self-reliant, a blind man defies all odds to become a carpenter in Gombe State. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail reports that Abdullahi Al-Hatu feeds his family from the proceeds of his labor rather than engaging in street begging. Take a look.
The World Bank has estimated that 1 billion people, or 15% of the world's population, experience some form of disabilities, and the prevalence is higher in developing countries. Meanwhile, the National Population Commission of Nigeria, NPC, estimated that no fewer than 19 million Nigerians are persons with disabilities. A larger percentage of these people in the country is living in poverty, and many of them, especially in the north, depend on street begging for livelihood. Notwithstanding, some of the PWDs are actively working on their own to earn a living. Born in Orowinde, Nafada local government, Gombe State, a 47-year-old Abdullahi Dallatu is among the few hardworking Nigerians with disabilities. Despite losing his sight at a tender age of 2, Dallatu is self-reliant. Since when he was 17, Dallatu has been a carpenter and a weaver.
and this trade have been solving some of his family's problems. The 47-year-old said major threat to his business are lack of patronage and support from government and members of his community.
I once bought a stool, dismantled it and removed the nails. I used a saw to cut the wood, and by God's grace I reconstructed the stool.
Abubakar Yusuf is another person with disability. He also believes disability is not inability. The entrepreneur is into shoemaking and already has 4 apprentices learning the trade in his workshop. The shoe engineer highlights some of his achievement in over 30 years of practice in the profession.
I'm grateful to God about this business. I have all my assets through this business. Before I was renting a shop, but now this shop is mine. I also got married and have 9 children. Some of them are in primary, secondary school and university. All I can say is praise the Almighty Allah.
Primary school, junior secondary school, senior secondary school,
the PWDs are now calling for support.
And down to business, National Bureau of Statistics says foreign investors appear to have boycotted the Nigerian market as capital importation dropped by $4.08 billion in 1 year. According to the latest capital importation report by the NBS, between January and September 2020, total capital importation amounted to $8.55 billion, while during the same period in 2021, foreign capital inflows into the country fell by $4.08 billion to $4.47 billion. A breakdown of the 2020 figures shows that in the first quarter of 2020, capital importation into Nigeria stood at $5.85 billion, representing an increase of 53.97% compared to fourth quarter of 2019. While during the period, foreign portfolio investment contributed the largest amounts to capital inflows, accounting for $4.31 billion, or 73.61% of the total capital importation, followed by other investments. Mali's military-dominated government has strongly condemned what it described as a legal sanction imposed on the country by the Economic Community of West African States, adding that it has closed its land borders with the states concerned. Military spokesman Colonel Abdoulaye Maiga said in a televised statement on Monday that on the basis of reciprocity, Mali has decided to recall its ambassadors and close its land and air borders with the states concerned. On Sunday, ECOWAS and the West African Economic and Monetary Union imposed a raft of economic and diplomatic sanctions in response to Malian military leaders' desire to push back elections until 2025. The meeting in Ghana of regional leaders followed months of increasing tensions over the timetable for restoring civilian rule in Mali after 2 coups and a military takeover. And in sports, Cameroonians trooped out to the streets after the indomitable Lions defeated Burkina Faso 2-1 in the opening African Cup of Nations match on Sunday. The match, played at the Olympic Stadium in Yaoundé, sparked the sleepy port in northern Cameroon, Garou, into jubilations as residents trooped to the streets in their national colors, blaring horns and singing songs in the traditional dialect. Cameroon relied on penalties to pull up a comeback win against Burkina Faso in the opening match of the 2021 AFCON in Yaoundé. Meanwhile, reports say the Stallions of Burkina Faso suffered setbacks as their coach Kamou Malo and 6 other players tested positive to COVID-19. The Burkina Faso team also filed a complaint to the Confederation of African Football, claiming double standards maltreatment before the game. With sports, have come to the end of news updates. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.